Now, in that context, Paul says, let no man deceive himself. Paul didn't want, particularly these ministers, to believe that they were serving the Lord. He says, don't let him deceive himself. He didn't want them to think that they were building up the body with worldly wisdom. You're not going to build up the body of Christ in worldly wisdom. And if you look at Christendom as a whole, that's what is being used by ministers, preachers, and teachers on radio and television, internet. They're using worldly wisdom thinking they're building up the body, but they're not. They're really tearing down the body, 2 Timothy 2. They're really bringing in a cancer, a canker into the body that's eaten up and destroying the body. They're defiling the body of Christ, the temple of God. So Paul says, let no man deceive himself. If any man, so whoever it is, among you, obviously the Corinthians in particular, but the body of Christ in general, seemeth to be wise in this world. If you think that you're wise in this world, which was a real possibility for the Corinthians, these Greeks understood the wisdom of this world. Socrates, Plato, Euripides, all these Greek scholars, okay? He says, if that's how you consider yourself, let him become a fool that he may be wise. Be a fool in the eyes of the world so that you might be wise in the eyes of God through the wisdom of God and the mystery. That's what he's saying. It's all about the mystery of Christ. That's where wisdom comes from. It's in the mystery of Jesus Christ according to Revelation of mystery. Go with me back to 1 Corinthians 2. This is what Paul says is the issue. 1 Corinthians 2, verse 6. Howbeit we, that's Paul and his faithful ministers, speak wisdom among them that are perfect, or spiritually mature. Okay, he wants to give this information out. Yet not the wisdom of this world, that Greek philosophy and so forth, nor the princes of this world that come to naught, that of the satanic policy of evil. But we speak the wisdom of God in the mystery. Here's God's wisdom, that which belongeth to him. And he talks about in a mystery. It's something that God kept secret. Well, right here. Even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world unto our glory. God ordained this information to give glory, not just to himself, but that we might share in his glory. Verse 8, which none of the princes of this world knew. God didn't let anyone else know about this, including the angelic realm. For had they known it, this mystery, how God would take the members of the body of Christ, who by grace through faith in Jesus Christ alone, are saved into this new agency, set apart unto God for the heavenly places, to take over the heavenly places. Remember, Satan and his angels, they were in a position where they still held power in the heavenly places. God hasn't stripped them. He spoiled them of it. He's going to take it away, but it hasn't been actualized. He hasn't stripped them yet. So they felt that, hey, we still have a stronghold both in heaven and earth. But through the cross work of Christ, when it says they would not have crucified the Lord of glory, they would have allowed him to be the Messiah of this earth, of Israel's Messiah and the King of this earth, King of kings, Lord of lords. They knew there would have been no more place for them in this earth, but they would have ruled the heavens. They still would have been up there having authority in the heavens, heavenly places. Well, even the angels of God, the holy angels, knew that God would and could reconcile the heavens back unto himself. But what they didn't know was how he would do it and when. The when is the dispensation of grace. The how is through the mystery of Christ, the body of Christ, this new agency. They knew that God the Father would, obviously could, but they didn't know when and how. Now, through Paul's revelation from Christ, they know the when and the how. The when is now, and eventually in the heavenly places, and the how is through the body of Christ. Okay. So they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. They would just let him have the earth, but they would have kept the heavens, the heavenly places. Now go back to 1 Corinthians 3, when he talks about verse 18, let no man deceive himself. And that, again, that deception is that he will build up the body with the worldly wisdom. When he gets to the judgment seat of Christ, he's going to realize the foolishness of that. That's what we're going to see. Let him become a fool in the world, in the eyes of the world, that he might, through the wisdom of God, be wise. Okay?